Welcome to our Explainer. Today, we are diving into a battle that's probably happening inside your home right now. It's the constant, high-stakes fight between your home's climate system and the weather outside, which, let's be honest, is doing everything it can to win.
So let's just paint a quick picture. It is 105 degrees outside, the sun is just beating down, and then all of a sudden, silence. The hum of the air conditioner is gone. That feeling of dread, that panic, that's exactly what we're talking about today. Because look, this isn't just some minor inconvenience. In really harsh climates, it's a flat-out emergency.
So who's the real villain in this whole story? It's easy to blame your HVAC system when it quits. But the real bad guy here is the extreme climate itself. It puts your heating and cooling gear under a constant, relentless siege. I mean, just look at the difference here. If you're in a mild coastal area, your system might just hum along, happy as can be, for years and years. But you take that exact same system and you put it in an extreme desert climate, like, say, California's San Jacinto Valley, and it faces a brutal reality every single day. We're talking summers blasting past 100 degrees, and then winters that can dip below freezing. That massive temperature swing, that's what does the real damage. And it's not just about the temperature. Your system is literally fighting a war on multiple fronts. You've got intense heat that just cooks electrical parts. You've got freezing cold that puts major stress on others. You've got valley dust and wind that basically sandblasts your unit and clogs it up. And hey, if you've got hard water, you can add mineral buildup to the list, which can choke the life out of your system from the inside. So with all that stress, things are going to break. And when they do, it's rarely a total mystery. It usually comes down to one of a few key culprits that just couldn't take the pressure anymore. So what are they? Let's take a look. Okay, first up is the capacitor. The best way to think about this thing is as the starter pistol for your whole system. It gives that big jolt of energy to get things moving. But extreme heat absolutely destroys it over time until one day it just can't fire anymore. And the result? You'll hear the system hum, but the fan or the compressor, they just won't kick on. It is one of the most common failures in hot climates. Next on our list of usual suspects, refrigerant leaks. Think about it. Every single day, the metal pipes in your unit expand in the daytime heat and then shrink back down in the cool of the night. This constant movement, this thermal stress, eventually creates tiny, microscopic cracks at the joints, and that lets the all-important refrigerant escape. Less refrigerant means less cooling and a system that has to run itself ragged trying to keep up. And finally, we have the simple problem of dirty coils. Your outdoor unit has to breathe to get rid of heat. It's kind of its whole job. But when it gets caked in a layer of dust and grime, it's like forcing it to try and breathe through a thick, dusty mask. It suffocates. It has to work way harder, your energy bills shoot up, and eventually it'll just overheat and quit. So, when your system finally gives up the ghost, you find yourself at a major crossroads. And you have to make a really big decision, not just for your comfort, but for your bank account. Do you patch it up? Do you invest in its future? Or is it time to just start fresh? You've really got three ways you can go here. Path number one is emergency repair. That's the get it working again right now option. Path two is preventive maintenance. That's the strategic move to get ahead of problems so those emergencies never even happen. And path three is a full system replacement. The long-term play for when repairs just don't make financial sense anymore. So, how do you even know when it's time to start thinking about replacement? Well, here's a key number to burn into your brain: 15. Yeah, you might hear that a system can last 20 years, and maybe it can in a super mild climate. But in a really demanding place, you should expect to be on the low end of that range. After 15 years of fighting that battle, day in and day out, your system is a pretty weary veteran. Now, to make that decision a little less gut-wrenching, there is a fantastic rule of thumb called the $5,000 rule. It's super simple. Just take the estimated cost of the repair and multiply it by the age of your system in years. If that number you get is more than $5,000, then replacement is probably the smarter financial move. It's a really great way to stop yourself from throwing good money after bad on a failing unit. Okay, so you've decided you need a pro. But let's be real, calling for help can be pretty stressful if you don't know what you're in for. But a genuinely good professional service call is actually a really clear, really transparent process. It really just boils down to these three simple steps. First, obviously, you schedule the visit and tell them what's going on. Second, and this is crucial, the technician does a complete diagnosis and gives you an upfront fixed quote. No work should ever start without this. And then third, only after you've seen the price and you've given your approval, they go ahead and complete the repair.
Simple as that.
And what are the green flags you should be looking for in that pro? Well, it comes down to three main things. 1, transparent pricing always. 2, a thorough diagnosis that actually finds the root cause, not just the symptom. And 3, they use quality parts that are actually built to handle the stresses of your local climate.
Whew. Okay, we have covered a lot of ground. So let's boil it all down to a few simple, really powerful rules that you can use to protect your system, your comfort, and, of course, your wallet. These are the big takeaways. The very first rule you need to remember is all about this number, 3.
This is the 3-minute rule, and it is absolutely crucial. If your AC shuts off, for any reason, power flicker, whatever, you have to wait at least 3 full minutes before you turn it back on. Why? Well, that pause gives the refrigerant pressure inside the system time to equalize. If you restart it too soon, you force the compressor to work against insane pressure, and that can cause catastrophic, super expensive damage. This is the easiest and cheapest way to protect the heart of your entire system. And the second rule brings us back to another really important number. But this one is all about your money. Let's lock this one in, the $5,000 rule. Before you ever say yes to a big repair on an older system, just do the quick math. Let's say it's a $600 repair on a system that's 10 years old. 600 times 10 is $6,000. That is your big, flashing sign that it is probably time to put that money toward a new, reliable, and way more efficient unit instead. So, as we wrap this up, I'm just going to leave you with this one question to think about. After everything we've talked about, the environmental attacks, the common ways systems fail, and these smart rules, just take a second and honestly ask yourself, is your home's comfort system really ready for the fight?